What is up, guys? This is BlackRiverRider. We're gonna ride the BMW 310 G310R. I'm not sure it's a 310, it's like a 330 some cc engine. It's up pretty good. You have to kind of wring its neck a little bit. It's not bad. So yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. Obviously it's not going to have a ton of power. I think it's in the 30s for horsepower, which is plenty. You know, you don't really need more than that. It's enough to get around. It's got 6 gears. Shows the gear indicator on there. Kind of interesting sound to it though. Not too bad, just interesting. Brakes feel good. Got a decent amount of boosting to them. You know, not too sensitive, but sensitive enough. Clutch is really easy. Like, you can see it just letting out. Clutch is really good. Super lightweight. Like, this bike weighs nothing. You got a little fuel indicator right there. Tachometer across the bottom. Shows what gear you're in, speed, mileage. I mean, time. What more do you need, you know? It's not a fancy dash, but it's got everything you need on it. It's super vibey at higher speed though. You can see the revs are pretty high up there. It's not the fastest thing, but it's got enough power. It's not intimidating at all for a new rider. I'll say it's very new rider friendly. It's not going to get away from you. I mean, it's going to be really hard to keep up with bikes like this, you know, but for definitely your lower speed stuff, like 70 and under, I would say it's plenty. I don't know if you'd want to take this out on the interstate. I mean, obviously you can, but I'll probably advise against that. Mirrors are pretty good. Really ringing it out right there. It's fun though, you know, it's fun to get to just wring the mess out of a little engine like that. Brakes are, you know, they're pretty good. It's not bad. It actually looks like it's got a steel braided cable, if I'm not mistaken. But from what I understand, this bike is made in India, pretty much all of it, just to try to meet that price point, you know. But it feels good, you know. It's built to a price, so you can definitely tell that. Suspension seems to handle road pretty well at this speed, at 65 or so. Engine's super buzzy though. It's kind of bringing around 7,000 RPM at 70, maybe a little above it. Not really, it doesn't feel like it wants to go this speed, you know. Not a bad bike. Not a bad bike so far. Yeah, it's great for a beginner, or even if you want a little kind of a city bike. It's got beefy front forks on it though. Look at that thing for a 300. Yeah, it's just happy cruising around doing this. You know, it sounds surprisingly good. Surprisingly good, to be honest. Transmission feels really good. It doesn't feel like a cheap bike. I mean, I know it's not directly made by BMW, but if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known otherwise. It feels like a premium 300. I don't know, kind of hard to explain. Maybe a little underpowered, but this is my first ever 300 I've ever rode, so I had no idea what the power would be like, you know. I guess the 30s is kind of about what you would expect for a 300. I think this makes like 33 horsepower, so probably about par for the course. But yeah, I mean, this makes plenty of power. You wouldn't need anything more than this for just like getting around town. And I mean, and you saw me get up to the 70s with it. You know, I would probably recommend against, if you had to do a lot of interstate riding, I probably wouldn't get this. Probably get something a little more power, a little more size to it. I think this is a good little bike, man. I'm very impressed. I just got off like a $30-some thousand motorcycle, and this is still pretty impressive, you know. So it's definitely not bad at all. And you have to really ring it out though. But as they say, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. That being said, I would rather have a faster bike. You know, because at least you have the power if you ever need it. If you need the power on this thing, it's not going to give it to you, because it just ain't there. Would I recommend this to a newer rider? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so easy to ride, it's ridiculous. Like, you're not going to get in trouble with this thing. If you go and pass the basic rider course, or you know have a little bit of experience with dirt bikes or something, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. Even if you have no prior experience, I mean, this thing will be super easy to learn on. Super easy to learn on. Yeah. Sweet little motorcycle. If you want a BMW, which Indian made BMW, this is your bike. Yeah, the transmission is really nice in this though. I didn't expect that nice of a transmission for a 300, if I'm honest. Alright guys, that will do it for my last video. We'll get a good final look at it. Just kind of tilt down a little bit, you can see it there. It's not a bad looking motorcycle. Yep, cool. All right. Yep. There she goes.